Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Peter and this is Tech Suvara, and today we are going to jump in and explore Django. So you may be asking, what is Django? Well, if you're into Python and you're into websites and backends, then Django is for you. Django is an actual great way to build a site. It provides a backend full functionality that allows you to do whole stack of stuff. Integrate databases, connect to services, provide socket access, create websites, HTTP servers. It does so much stuff. If you want to have fine control over how your website operates, it's a great way to create the Django project to run it, and it will basically look after a lot of this stuff for you, like in terms of setting up for a website, starting HTTP server, well, la-di-da-di-da. The idea is that you can get a better control over how you access your resources, how you manage your resources, and if you want or need to do anything that's not really standard out of the box kind of stuff like hosting a site. So if you need to use forms specifically that do certain things, that access a certain API, that perform certain functions, that's you can use the Django as a great way of doing it. You can create your own database links. You can access things like GraphQL via your database links from your API calls. You can provide sort of a hosted site that controls different components within your system on the backend side of things, and it also provides like a way to represent the front end. So the idea today is we're going to open up the Django, we're going to dive in, and we're just going to have a look around and see if we can get a HTTP server started and see if we can get something displayed somewhere. I have never used the Django, and I have done a lot of Python, but not recently, so this should be fun. I don't know if I'm going to use any kind of like tools to help with the syntax for Python. I think we'll just go straight out of the box. We'll follow some of the tutorials. But if you get stuck on syntax, I do highly recommend a tool called find.com. It is really good for giving you information about coding specific things. It's like a natural language processor. It's a language model for coding. It's a lot better than ChatGPT that kind of does, it's like a whole model that does it all and gets a lot of things wrong when it comes to code. It's not trained on more newer data. The models that on find.com actually, there are some newer models that are trained on newer data sets, especially for languages. There are new versions that get released pretty quickly, so you do want to be up to date. Check out find.com, that's with a PHIND.com. But look, we're not here to talk about AI assisted or language processing assisted coding. We're here to talk about Django and how to get your amazing site and API running. So let's jump straight into it and let's see what Django does and how we can do it. Let's go. Hey guys, well, let's get started with the Django. Here we are, and look what we have. Getting started with the Django. And just a heads up, I did try to record another video about the Django, and I actually got up to setting up a project. I got stuck on Python version. I had that fixed. We used Whereas to find the Python 3.11 for PyCharm, which is a great tool. PyCharm, get it, it's awesome. And then I realized that the camera that you're looking at me through here was not recording because I had run out of memory on the memory card. So I'd been talking for about 15 minutes and then realized it wasn't recording. Fortunately, I'm back and I am recording now. So let's get started with the Django. We have getting started. So again, I'll say this again, even though you're hearing it for the first time. Depending on how new you are to the Django, you can try a tutorial. We can try a tutorial. Want to learn? Install the Django. Let's go through and install it. We want the Django installation guide. We want to install the latest version. So previously, in my non-recorded video that you won't see, I got stuck. So we have, the reason I got stuck was because I couldn't install Django 5 because I was running Python 3.9. So what I did was I created a new environment and then I found Python 3.11. So we should be able at this point create from open project. No, I'm gonna cancel. Okay, which Python version did we use here? 3 version. No, got 3.9.6 terminal virtual environment. So we will try that again. Create a new project. We'll call it our base interpreter is that. So let's see, Python. The Django test, the Django site. Okay, so here we are, the Django site. Now, let's see, I have a look at Python version. Python 3.11. Yes, we've got it. So we got exit, Control D, and what we'll do is we'll go Python. If we do Python, what version does it give us? Yeah, okay, cool. So we do Python. Let's see what we've got. Installing official release. We've got mpip, Python mpip installed Django, Python-m. What does that mean? I don't know what .m means, but let's do it. That's what the help is all about. When you're exploring, you just kind of follow the first path just to, find out where you are and what is around you. The great thing about knowing some of the language for Python and some of the tools is it's not completely unknown territory, and you're not kind of going, well, I don't know what Python is. So kind of like would recommend doing some Python tutorials before jumping into this. So what do we have now? The Django. Which version of the Django we have? 5.0.3. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so we've installed that. We're going to jump back to the tutorial because it sounded interesting. What we have is a tutorial. Write your first Django app, creating a project. What do we have here? Let's learn by example. Throughout this tutorial, we'll walk you through creating a basic pull application. Oh, we get a public site and an admin site. Okay, cool. Creating a project. So we've got, okay, cool. So we got the Django with some command line stuff here. Admin. Okay, start project my site. It's pretty easy, so it does it for you. Okay, we did that. Oh, great. It's done it all for us. Thanks, done. Well, we have our URL settings for the server. We see is what you get with a week. I think my site.settings. Yeah. Where should the code live? If your background is in plain old PHP, with no use of modern frameworks, you're probably used to putting code under the web service document root. Yeah, all right. With the Django, you don't even do that. It's not a good idea. Any of the Python code. Fair enough. You don't want to put your magic code where it's easily accessible. So we have managed a Python command line utility that lets you interact with the Django project in a my site directory. And my site URLs, the URL declarations of the Django project, a table of contents of your Django powered site. Yes, we can have API calls, URL dispatching, all that kind of stuff. So let's verify the Django project works. Change the outer my site directory if you haven't already and run. Okay, so let's go into my site directory. And let's go, Python. Well, yeah, manage. All right, let's run the server. Yeah, we've got a command line. You have 18 unapplied migrations. Your project may not work until you apply the migrations. If you don't know what a migration is, it is essentially taking data from a previous version into the new version. So you migrate all the data from one version to another. In a database migration, you usually remove items from a table and you insert items from a table. So you need to do your migrations step by step. That's it does help with as your data set or database evolves to do that. So we are running on the Django server. We have it on our local host 127.0.0.1 on the service. Let's see, 127.0.0.1 on port 800. That's where the HTTP service is listening. Yay, we have a site. Great. It's pretty easy once you like just get started, right? So many times you can think of, you're kind of faced with a problem. Django solves quite a lot of problems. We can just jump back into, what is it good for? We'll jump back to the tutorial in a minute. But is it for you? There was a page here. If it's for us, Django documentation, getting started with Django. Where was it? It was want to learn about Django. Read. Yeah, here it is. The Django overview. It's fast, fully loaded, dozens of extras, and handle common web server development, web development tasks, RSS feeds, more ratio, includes SQL. Yeah. So essentially, it allows you to write a web application. That's what it's for. And the web application can be a hosted site. In this case, we have a hosted HTTP server, and yeah, and we can write admin like in the tutorial. So we can get started. We'll go back to the tutorial. First, the Django app. Done this. We were down to here. We've started the server, and we can go. We went to the site, checked it out, and we can run it on a different port. So we can go run the server on the port, and we can run it. If you want to change the server's IP, pass it along here. So if you're using a DNS and you need to specify a specific IP address on your subnet, creating polls app. Now the environment, projects versus apps. What's the difference between a project and an app? An app is a web application that does something, a blog system, database. A project is a collection of configuration and apps for a particular website. All right, cool. So we want to start app. Your apps can live anywhere in your Python patterns, so we'll create a poll app in the same directory as your managed Py files. Okay, that's all right. Let's do that. Manage Py start polls app. So we have our local 2. So we have, let's exit this. We exit, quit the server with Control C. Okay, so we have, let's just another task there if we need to. Python manage Py start polls. So this will give us an application, a specific web application in the project. Okay, it's done that. That'll create a polls directory polls, which will have an app administration migrations. Let's see. This directory structure will house the poll application. Right, your first view. Okay, let's write the first view. Open the file views. Put the following code. All right, we get to write some Python. I know it's kind of copy and paste, but I highly recommend that if you see something and you're not familiar with it, don't copy and paste it. Just write it. Because what it'll give you is just that muscle memory and give you an idea. So basically from the Django import. So importing library, done that. HTTP response. Okay, so there's a HTTP response. Why doesn't it give it? Interesting. The Django.http. So it's HTTP. Okay, there we go. Def index. So this will give us the request. We take the request and we return the HTTP response. And we have, this one here. Hello world. You're at the polls. Woohoo! All right, so you can see, you can just create, and then you can create a view. We'll jump into Python here and create the URL conf. Okay, if possible, we'll need to map to URL. So we have a view, we need to map it to a URL. We need to open polls.urls, or we need to create it. To create a file called, new Python file, and we'll call it urls.py. Nice. And so here we want to again import the Django dot. So what's happening Pathlet, no, just path. Okay, that's interesting. It doesn't. The unused import. Let's see. That's not good. From dot import views. Okay, we've got that. Still not liking the path. From Django.urls, Django. Very strange. URL patterns. And we have, let's see, equals. Let's see if it'll work. Path. Okay. I do not like that. It's interesting. Views.index. So that's the index of the request. That's the function, sorry. And the name. So it'll be the root, which is index in this case. The next step is the point. Is the point the root URL convert? The point URLs might not. No, okay. So basically taking the root side URLs, just here. And it doesn't like this for whatever reason. What is it not liking? One error. Oh, we need to put a comma? No? Path is not callable. What are we on? What is it talking about here? Name equals index. Well, doesn't like something here, but I don't know, we'll give it a go. What I'll do is just get this working, I'm gonna copy and paste. I know I said don't copy and paste, but do as I say, don't not as I do, as they say. I'm just kidding. I just want to see why this is having a problem. From the Django to, I mean, this works. I missed something. Oh, well, there you go. You see, I didn't even notice the problem from the Django. Oh, well, there you go. Fixed. See, copy and paste it, found the problem. You just got to use your head when, sure. So we've got this here. We just need to put polls in. Didn't even need to path. Polls. And then we want to include. So it looks like it includes the polls.urls. Polls.urls. So that will obviously give us access to the URLs for the URL patterns. Okay, we want to add include here too. We don't need to. And then the P disappeared. The P in path. Path. There's no joking there. Yeah, move to the code accidentally, as you do while you're just here, just clicking around. So now what we're going to do is we've done this, we've started the app, but we're gonna manage Python manage run server. Started it. And we can go to localhost 8000 again. So we go to 100 polls. Hello world, that's the text. So HTTP returned us some text, and it took that and just displayed it. There's no the actual web browser didn't interpret it in any other way other than just some text, and it's a simple HTTP response. Well, you know what? I'm really actually quite interested in this. You know, I think it's working really well. I'm really easy. I'm going to continue with this. Yeah, we're going to go into part 2 of this next week, and just to fiddle around with it, and then we'll come up with some ideas of what you can do with the Django in general. So, guys, thanks very much for listening in. It's been a good experiment and exploring the Django, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.